All right, guys, YouTube viewers, followers, hopefully, all that, uh, non believers, and all the whole 9 yards. Whoever you are, and hopefully you'll stay. This video is not going to be on a deal. This is going to be exclusively financing for deals. I have 6 ways I've used to finance. There's dozens out there and whatever, but I'm going to explain different ones I've used and go that way. So if you're new to my channel, or if you're starting, you think you're interested in real estate investing, I'm trying to maybe spruce up the channel and do something different. So I have it's a Will Hoy thing. You wouldn't understand. All my kids have this shirt. We have family jokes that never get old. They're 30 years old. There's certain things exclusive to Will Hoyts. My daughters are just as tough and as the men are. The girls are as tough as the boys are, and very driven, all successful, all own their own homes and stuff like that. So I raised them by myself for a little bit, and they turned out well. I have great kids. I'm very proud of them. So anyway, um, so if you're thinking about getting into real estate investing, you're scared to death, you're nervous, my Gmail is on there, my email address, and plus my phone number. Text me, message me, whatever. I'll try to help you get started. If I can, maybe we can work out a deal because I can't. My time is money. I would be willing to make a deal with you on a flip. I don't want to go half and do all the work, do most of the work, and split it with none of that. But I would offer my consultation, walk you through it, the steps on making the offer, all that things. What you got to do now? Get a contractor, blah blah blah. Here, and I'll give you some guidance, and stuff I didn't have. I mean, I just went as I went. Some through ignorance and everything else, and YouTube videos and whatever courses that people try to swindle you out a bunch of money that they're not even doing it. And I think on one of the tapes on my channels, one of my videos, I said, listen, I'm in Delaware. It's a little state. We have 3 counties in it. But for the whole entire state, we have a club, a Del Ria, Delaware Real Estate Investment Association or whatever, Del Ria. But anyway, probably 100 members. A handful of people actually buying and selling real estate, wholesaling, fixing and flipping, whatever. I'm talking, I don't know exactly, but dozens come to the meeting. 5 times as many comes to meeting, come to the annual dinners, thinking they're real estate investors. It ought to be the Diners Club, but it's real estate investing, and a small percentage do the real work and find houses, fix and flip, wholesale, whatever. And out of that, there's one guy that does a couple a month. None of this 40, 50 deals these crazy people talk about on YouTube and wherever, TikTok, and point where the sign comes up, and I do 40, 50 deals a month. You don't fix and flip them because unless you got 10 crews running at the same time, which you're like 30 years old, and how's that even possible? I'm in my 50s and don't even have that going on. So, and I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying it's probably not being done. Our best guy in this state can only do a couple a month because you got to work on the damn things. How long? I mean, what do you think? You can click your fingers and it's magically redone? It doesn't work like that. It takes you weeks and months to finish them and get them turned around. And so now, if you're selling wholesale, that might be another thing. But even them guys finding the deals, and everybody's a magician. Nobody's doing this. Okay, but anyway, let me stop there. But if you need help and I can help you walk through it, we'll work out a deal. And your greatest feat and challenge is doing your first deal. Once you do your first deal, you'll kind of learn some things. I learn as I go. Every deal I learn more. Every day I learn more on it. It's a never-ending learning process, and and very few experts. They say a person that reads an hour a day on a given subject, one subject, for 5 years straight, an hour a day, is considered an expert. So that's a long, long time, a lot of time put in. So I don't consider myself an expert. I consider myself a little experienced and got a long way to go. So, first deal, you can use your own money. I did that with a couple $1,000s here or there. You can find them. There's people who give you a trailer that have bought a house, building a house, they live in a trailer. Now they can't pay a house payment plus a lot rent, and they'll eventually just say hell with it and take it. And if you have a property to move it to, or somebody that has a property to move it to the property and then work up your money to buy a piece of land. I just did that with, well, I didn't put the trailer on it. I was going to. Got it approved for the well and septic and all that stuff, site evaluation. And I moved an RV there that somebody gave me. It cost me $200 to move it there. So use your own money. If worst case scenario is you lose everything, you lose a couple $1,000s. I've lost that much on a learning process. It's sometimes cheaper than the courses they offer you. These guys, if you got $4,000, you can come to this convention, blah, 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 whatever. If I had $3,000 or $4,000, I'd be buying a house, you moron. You know, Jesus. So, they're cheap. Sometimes your lessons you lose really are your greatest learning lessons, and I've done that. So, use your own money. Or use somebody else's money. Get your family to put money in with you and pay them back. I mean, but I tell you this, you got to convince yourself, tell yourself, not convince yourself. Everybody has the ability to do things. And, it's often been quoted, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. You're exactly right. And I always say, most people are so afraid to fail, they fail. I'm not afraid to fail. I've failed at a bunch of stuff. But you never fail as long as you get back up and continue to try. You might have to try a different way. So I won't use a contractor the way I used that one that beat me out of $16,000 some dollars plus his labor on top of it. That was just the money he took from me. I almost lost his house over it, and I had hundreds of thousands of dollars in it, over 100,000 that I almost ate. I was nervous about. So the second thing you can do, wholesale. This property I'm living in. I bought it for, I think, $45,000. I think she paid, or hold it, maybe 50. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. What matters is, let's say she got it for the land for $40,000. I paid $55,000 for it. She made $15,000. She's a wholesaler. That's all she does. She don't fix and flip. She don't do none of that. She finds deals. She goes to them. Hey, would you be willing to sell your property, land, house, whatever, for X amount of dollars? She give it just for the land. House had no value on it, and really didn't. It was condemned, but I didn't know that. But it'd have been easier for me to tear the house down and build a new one, for real. This is a very big learning project on this one. I mean, I had new windows, new doors, new siding, new roof. Came inside, tore the floors up, electric shredded under the house. There's no way anybody could have figured it out. Master electricians. I mean, just a big ball of wires. And we had to tear all the drywall out of the house, the insulation on a 2-story house, rewire it and replumb it, and put new heat and new heating and air conditioning in. So we borrowed $35,000 more dollars. So I've been through so much now. You can never really figure out everything. There's always didn't know that, didn't see that coming. But there's nothing really throws me off that bad. I'm pretty thorough now. And but that was early on, and I learned a lot of things. So I borrowed $35,000 more dollars. We finished the house. I insulated a 2-story house, 1,600 square feet, by myself. I put every piece of insulation in this house. I did it. So there's some things I did by myself. Some things I paid people to do. So use your own money. Use investors. That's in here. Use investors, hard money, private money. I borrowed money from different lenders, bank loans, private money, and stuff like that, and investors. I had 6 investors in it, each a different amount, and they got paid back. And then another guy had private money. I borrowed from him. I put an offer on online, and I didn't know. I just knew you had to put money down to bid on. I was scared to death. We had 30 days to get our financing. It's all we could do to do that. We had to tell them something happened to kind of extend it, and it worked out. But And I can guide people on that because I've done it. But until you do it, you don't really know. There's a lot of unknowns in that. So use your own money, wholesaling, investors, hard money, and all that. Bank money if you can. 401k money. I've done that. We just talked about my son. I didn't have the money for closing on one project. It was $10,000 some dollars. He had $10,000 in the bank. He sent him his bank statement. He wrote he didn't write it. It already was written. He filled in the blanks. I am giving my father a gift of $10,000. And then when they said, okay, we see you got the money in the bank. You said you give a gift. He took $6,000 of that money, gave it to me. I paid my 401k loan off. I borrowed, after that, I had it more than that. That was an original loan or one before that. I borrowed $12,000. I gave him his $6,000 back. And then I sent him $1,000 a month for a little bit. And then we did it two different ways. Through Zelle and through Venmo, but we had already set up a paper trail of sending money back and forth prior to us doing that gift thing. Because if you don't, they found it, they saw it, and you're giving them money. I said, yep, we own a property in North Carolina, and we've sent money back and forth. Listen, you can send the same $1,000 back and forth to each other, or 500, or 200 every day for the same 200, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it looked like it's 1,000, 2,000, whatever. And then you say, hey, we're doing work and we're paying for it and whatever. It can be the same 200, same 1,000. Now, ours wasn't. We sent different money, but we had already set up a paper trail. And then so when we were actually sending the real money that they said I couldn't do it that way, we said this is for another project. We had other projects, but it wasn't. It was for this one. And there's loopholes you can get around, and I've already stated I have 2 VA loans, qualified for them both, and I qualified for 300 and something. One's 150 something, the other's 171 something, and there's ways to get around that too. They're supposed to be owner occupied, so I live in 2 homes, and it doesn't say you can't own a home and then buy a second home with a VA. I have to be living in a second home. Theoretically. So anyway, sweat equity. Okay, so this one, there's a couple different projects I did, and it's weird because I've already used this again before my phone cut off at 10 minutes, so I'm hoping I get past that. Well, it is because I'm at 12 minutes now. Some deal about the storage thing again, so I got to hustle. I have 2 minutes left. So, I already talked about the 401k, refinancing. I've done that, drawing money out of the house. I've done that 2 times where you can buy a house, fix it, take the money out of it, refinance it, draw money out, and then take that money and put on another house. I've done that. Done it a couple times. 401k, the deal with my son. He paid my loan off. I paid him back. The other $6,000 I gave him and then kept sending him money. I still owe him a couple $1,000. So we're not worried about that. And I owe him half of one house he split with me. I owe him what he put down, $14,000, and then he really didn't want to finalize it and go out. So I told him I would give him $10,000 profit for what he did do, and that should sell for $120,000, and then he gets $24,000 of that money back. So he ended up favorably. So I'm at 14 minutes. The sweat equity thing I want to talk about. So one of the projects I had, and I'm going to do it again. I went into a trailer park here down in Lewis, Delaware, and it's on the water. It's called Love's Creek. They have a marina and docks and boat slips and all that. And they had like 6 trailers that were vacant. They were run down. They were disrepair. And I told them that I would fix them and that I would pay the money to have them fixed. I'm at 1431, so I got to hustle. I fixed them up, sold them, and then they got the lot rent. So I'll talk about this more in the next video. I'll do another finance one. All right, thanks for listening.